Hello everyone, B-Boy Bricks here again, and welcome back to the final part. So this part I'm going to be putting together my decaled pieces and just doing a couple of final touches. So these have been drying all day because I had done them all early this morning, and they've come out really well. Yes, maybe a couple of misalignments. I'm not claiming to be an expert. This is just like a little tips and tricks video and a little tutorial for other newbies like myself. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start to put together one figure and then do a time lapse of them all. So I'm just going to grab this piece at the end here. So as you can see, I can touch it, it's not wet, it's quite dry. Gonna twist off a couple of these leg pieces. Just be careful when putting it together. So I'm gonna pop the legs back in. Just be careful when you do this, and same on the other side. It will be a little bit stiff because of the sealant, just bear that in mind. And as you can see, I'm twisting them and there's no crease in there. Alright, so what I tend to do now, I've got my black heads which came with the figures just on the side here. So I'm gonna pop one of these back on, and what I tend to do, because sometimes when putting the arms back in it's a bit stiff, I get my mold line remover and I do a slight in around the thing, because if there's a build-up of sealant on the arms and on the torso, I tend to do this. It just makes putting back in the arms that just a little bit easier. You don't need to do much, just a little once over. Don't need to do this, I just tend to do this myself. You definitely need to carve the arms if you're doing AV decals, but I just tend to do this just a little bit. So you can see on my mold line knife here, if it focuses up, I've barely taken any off. Just give it a little blowout, just make sure I've got no pieces on. So what I do then is I take off a arm piece each, just making sure, and I pop them in. Again, just got to be a bit careful. Might have to rotate it in a little bit. There you go. And it's not stiff. I always then twist the hands just to make sure it's not stuck. Some people swap out the hands when they're decaling anyway, just so they don't ruin their hands. Ooh, actually see a bit of a misalignment there. I followed over. That was probably due to the wind, because it wasn't like that when I finished decaling this arm. So that was probably out there during the wind and the sealant blew it over, or the wind did. So that's why I always recommend trying to do it in semi-decent weather. So there, and I'll grab one of my helmets, pop it on, and there I've got a completed Wolfpack trooper, all finished, and actually quite decent. I quite like it. So there, the arms aren't too stiff. I haven't cracked any of the torsos or the arms when putting them back in, so you just have to be really careful with that. And just showing you on comparison to one of the 212 that I've done earlier. Really nice. So I'm going to put this down, I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to do a little time lapse of me putting all together all the other pieces. Catch you in a second. Back everyone, and now I have my 4 completed decals. So let's get right on into them. I did point out this one's arm did fold over this decal. I'm a bit gutted about that. I think that's just due to the wind and me spraying it when I was sealing outside. Bit unfortunate, but they all came out really well. Apart from that, yes, a couple of little misalignments here and there, but overall I'm really happy with the quality. My hips, my arms, see some of them are a little bit looser where I was carving out the holes just to make it easier, but I actually quite like that. It just makes it a bit easier for them to pose. Make sure the hands are okay. One thing, just be careful when putting the legs back in. You don't want to break the torsos or the legs or hip pieces and ruin all your hard work. Again, I'm not claiming to be an expert at doing decals. This is just what I do, but I'd like to do a huge thank you again to Blueharvest Bricks for these amazing decals from Jonak Toys and Thiccybrickie. I'll leave all their links down in the description below. Blueharvest Bricks is a UK reseller and a Europe reseller, so please give them a shout out and let me know what you guys think. If you want me to do any more of these, or just instead of a tutorial, just go through and do like 4 more decals in this sort of style, please let me know what clone unit you'd like to see next. But if you enjoyed what you see here today, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like on the video and comment down below, let me know. And until next time, I'll catch you all soon.